So, really, this group is just so exciting at the moment. Feels like anything could happen. And I'm excited for it as we start to the bottom right-hand side of Cascade. DNS's base. It's DNS. I really fucked that one up. Top left-hand side, our red Terran player from XED Sports. This is Clem. Game 1 of this best of 3, and looking to see what's going to be happening here as we get this set up and ready to roll. So, getting into game number 1 right now as we do see this probe coming out onto the map. This gateway being thrown down by DNS as well. It's just getting that set up as the simulator will come down to the side, and this probe of DNS will continue on up towards the upper left. So barracks dropping down in the main base, and we are going to have an SCV. It'll be rallied down to that mineral patch and then along in the next few moments here. Probe continuing towards the upper left-hand side, going to try and see what's up, going to try and see what he can get up to. We'll see early game scan in the PvT. You want to make sure this barracks is here so there's not a proxy Reaper play, and just make sure there is indeed an expand coming down. Terran play decides not to scout nowadays. Happens quite a lot. You will just be looking to expand. The Reaper will do the scouting very soon. Honestly, one base play from the Pros really did die out quite frequently, quite a lot. One thing I would say kind of happens fairly regularly is maybe some sort of like, not even regularly, but I guess sometimes maybe like a second gate proxy. We saw that the other day, which is kind of what brings it to my mind. But, and you know, sometimes we still see the proxy Stargate too, but Terran players, they kind of delay the SCV scout as well a lot. Like, you know, right now if the SCV sees no Nexus, the Reaper can go hunting for proxies, whereas if the SCV sees a Nexus, the Reaper can just come across the map. You don't need to send the SCV out on 17 is what I'm trying to get at, because if you send it on 17, you know, you're just going to see the same sort of stuff as if you see on 19. You know, you're not really going to make any changes to your build order at this stage, so it kind of makes a lot of sense right here as we are going to have this SCV jumping up in towards the main base and just having a little bit of a scout around as well, of course, see what else is going on. This SCV just going to be trolling to the side. Reaper does arrive, and the first adept popping out too means the Reaper actually has to be a little bit careful. Going to continue to move away, and that adept shade might actually get this Reaper. Ah, that's unlucky. He doesn't quite get the grenade to buy himself some time either. And that is going to be DNS picking up the first Reaper so quickly. Throws down the Stargate in the main, although the SCV is still here, does see the Stargate, so in the end, the Reaper's scouting job kind of assisted by the SCV, but then he cancels the Stargate, and that's the sort of mind games that can really put DNS into quite a good position coming up right here. Gates coming down at the front, starport dropping in the main base too. You know, our Terran player is just starting to get himself established then. He was in DNS's base. It's DNS! Surprise! You know, you laugh at me now. Just wait until next game where somehow Clem proxies his entire base in DNS's base, and it's like, well, look at that! Okay, maybe, perhaps not. Perhaps not. Should start saying it in the player's name base we have color race. In Clem's base we have a red Terran. Whoa, he would have thought. Okay. Medevac here with this Widowmine or 2 underneath will go for that drop. 3 adepts approaching the front, but a bunker coming up should keep this pretty safe. It was a switch into the Robo facility in terms of tech choice. As 2 Hellions approaching the front, they will find themselves a probe kill. Nope, the shield battery will have something to say about that, so not going to do much right there as the Marines will get in that bunker and push those adepts away. The adepts could maybe come behind the mineral line and cause some chaos, but it doesn't seem like they're too interested. And as we do have the Stimpack starting up from Clem as well. I mean, obviously we're expecting bio. We actually see those adepts being recalled back home to help push the Hellions away as well. Just at this moment, we actually see the Widow Mines coming forwards, and they are going to try and drop behind into the mineral line. And as the probes pull away, it's actually the Hellions to do some damage, but unfortunately, it is still a little bit of a shame because we have the Hellions just hitting on the shield battery, and a lot of those probes got healed up. And there wasn't enough Hellions either. And these Widow Mines did nothing. The first one fired into the assimilator as the probe went in, so nothing done there. And this second Widow Mine really didn't do too much either. I mean, actually, Burrowed thinking he was going to get a lift up, then he realized he was going to die, so he tried to reburrow, then he actually did die. That wasn't pretty either. As a depth shade forwards, goodbye to the Hellions. One Widowmine still here to try and do something, but so far, good start to the game from DnS. As he does get this Nexus set up right now, here on the third. So already getting his Nexus set up now. Again, just yesterday, is it Monday today? I think it is. Just yesterday in the Go for SE2, we actually saw DnS did fall to Clem 2-0. So obviously Clem and DnS, I really feel like these are two players who really bring it to each other a lot of the time. As Widowmine's into the main base, get 4 more probes, and another one into the natural expansion for DnS paying attention. Good micro by Clem though, able to get out of there without losing too many of the Widowmines. Keeping them alive means he can come in and use them once more. I mean, that's why this Widowmine was still around anyways. So that's a nice little bonus if you do see those SCVs though, trying to help out against the Prism. Not really having the most successful far. Looks like the Prism actually took a Widowmine shot to start things off. Just a little bit of a shame, but it doesn't seem to slow it down too much in the end. 9 SCVs have fallen, and we are going to be seeing this Colossus of DnS is going to finish up in the next few moments. So DnS's Colossus is about to finish here. You can see that popping out. This medevac pulls back over to the left-hand side. The Stalker warped in. It's going to get the medevac and the Widowmine back in the main. Just another couple of kills though, so I mean Clem is still kind of forcing probes to stop mining, workers to be pulled off of gas, going back onto gas, etc. You know, it does slow down mining, and he's getting a couple probes here and there, so it does add up over time now. As we are going to be seeing the Prism. That's going to be coming back out into the middle of the map too. Twilight on its way up. Forge also in a similar direction. Extended Fumble Lance on the way at the moment, and well, this army of DnS is moving forwards and ready to try and use some more damage. Widowmine takes a couple of shots already. Stalker in and out. The Colossus is obviously going to cause some issues. I think Clem is in some trouble here. As we do see, I mean, he lost a lot of mine time himself as well, but remember before, he loses another medevac right now, and that actually might just be the end of him, because he really doesn't have much at all, and he's definitely already low on health and a lot of his bio units. DnS pushing forwards, looking to try and pick up this victory. Clem still just trying to position around. Another Widowmine trying to come further forwards here. The shot goes down, force fields will drop, and SCVs and bio units going to start trying to make their way forwards, but I mean the SCVs have already been taken down. The Colossus gets pulled back by the Prism. At that point, what are you going to do as Clem? Well, you can type out GG and give DnS. We'll give you guys updates from that as we have them, as we have any kind of cool little bits and pieces happening. We'll let you guys know about it. For now, though, we are focusing on the Protoss versus Terran, as we have to the bottom right-hand side the blue Terran player from XED Sports. This is Clem. And in the upper left-hand side, our red Protoss from Cascade is DnS. Alright then, so getting this set up and continuing. Just seeing what's going to be happening now in game number 2. Fairly quick game 1, DnS again, just in control, shutting down the drops, not really letting much happen from Clem. Not really letting Clem get away with much at all. As we are going to be seeing a Chrono Boost coming down on this Nexus. Getting those probes up nice and quickly here, of course. Nothing too ridiculous, of course. I mean, if Clem wants to change something up, it's not really too difficult for him to start doing that, honestly. I mean, all he has to really do here is just sort of not go for the Widowmine drop. You actually have so much variety in TVP. I mean, you could just go for a bio-based opening. That's something which he consistently does pretty well. We are going to be seeing this SCV drilling away at that probe. Another SCV getting ready to build the CC on the natural. Just getting this set up and ready to go. Man Center coming down. Well, first few minutes will be fairly regular and interested to see what DnS will go for this time. Last time he cancelled that Stargate to eventually build a Robo, though. While it was a mind game, it wasn't exactly a crazy mind game, you know? Like, it's not like he turned it into some sort of non-Stargate all-in. He just didn't use the Stargate, he just cancelled it there, and so it was kind of an interesting sort of scenario. It was an interesting way for things to go. I wonder if this time we actually just see the commitment to the Stargate and him actually just sort of keeping that this time around. As we'll see this game. I was about to say, let's be careful. I mean, he's blocking off the Reaper jump in here. That's the plan, so that's actually quite nice. He has to be careful not to rally the Stalker this way, because it would probably get stuck here or here. And then it's kind of stuck until you get a War Prism in the game, so that's unfortunate. Unless you recall it, I guess, but that's 50 energy you don't want to use so early. Just to save one Stalker. So he's making sure to rally it out the proper way. And he's going straight into the Twilight Council, so pretty quick Twilight. Obviously, I mean, the two real options from this usually are going to be Blink or the Dark Shrine. I mean, it's early enough to be the Dark Shrine if he wants it to be cheeky and dirty here. DNS for game number 2. But again, Blink is the fairly regular way to go about things and to just set up into towards the macro-focused game, and that's exactly what we're starting to see. This Stalker working his way through this rock tower. Just wants to knock it down, just wants to create a position where he's able to not have the Terran player push in super quickly, and it will stop the Cyclone opening of Clem quite well also. It's actually a couple of Hellions to start, so those rocks not down yet. The Hellions running forwards here. Oh, the Reaper being chased by the two Stalkers means the Hellions could just dive in. He sees the Stalkers moving forwards here. One Stalker coming back in. It's only one though, and I think you do commit with the Hellions right now. You line up some of those probes, you try and get some kills. 3 so far. For one Hellion, he'll make it 4. He'll get 5 here, I think. Ooh, it depends on the shot. He does just get it. 5 workers killed. Not bad. Alright, not bad at all. As you do see, the robotics facility is setting up right now. Just as this game gets going, by the way, Bly Snoot's very interesting, because suddenly Bly has lurkers, and he is kind of getting himself into an aggressive spot, and I think Snoot's just going to die, because he doesn't actually have any lurkers. So it looks as though Bly is about to take game 1. Snoot just had a good surround, but he wasn't quite able to make enough happen with it. Snoot has more units on the way up, but it's a bit of a tough position right there. Snoot looking as though he might be in trouble. I'll let you guys know when there's actually a result from it. A lot of Cyclones here, by the way, from Clem, as he started Stimpack for a moment, but then decides to cancel it to start up another Cyclone, and again, we do just have confirmation. Bly has just taken game number 1 against Snoot. Snoot dropping the first map there in the ZVZ. That's a bit of a longer game than our first game in the PvT. Hey, nonetheless, we continue on. Cyclones just gathered up on the low ground. Stimpack starting up on the barracks as well. A couple more barracks from Clem currently just on the way out here, as we are going to be seeing setting fully up into this bio play at the moment. Factory moves away to start a tech lab, and well, our pros player do what pros players do. Build third nexuses nice and early in the game, although I don't actually think there's an answer on the map right now from DNS to deal with these Cyclones. He has 6 Blink Stalkers and 2 Sentries for 6 Cyclones. I think this is a dead third nexus, so there's a nice cancel here from Clem coming through. Obviously, he did delay other bits and pieces for this. You know, his bio play is not as well set up as... Whoa, DNS. Big mistake. Does not get the cancel off there. Just a straight up kill. And Clem... Well, that's obviously a nice way to slow DNS down quite significantly, because that's another 400 minerals DNS has to put into that Nexus now, and well, that's obviously slowing down the base actually being up too, so that works out nicely. And the third CC of Clem is actually finished up in the main base, so you will be able to drop that down towards the third base location right now. So he throws that down into location here, and we are going to be seeing 1-1 upgrades in the charge from DNS too, so he's going to have himself a nice little charge lot set up eventually. Again, for now, this gateway focused army is going to be a little bit hindered by the lack of the third, as our Terran will set up brilliantly. With the 3 racks up and running, 4th and 5th rack should be the next priorities, of course. Medevac's on the way out now too, and he still has these Cyclones, and while they're not amazing in the later stages of the game usually, they're still pretty, you know, they're still pretty buff, and if they sit in front of a bunch of bio, they're going to tank a lot of damage. They're going to put out quite a bit of damage as well for a while. It's actually quite impressive how much these can get done. 5 gateways from DNS on the way up here, so again, that's set and ready to roll. Stalker's going to run across over to the right hand side, so they're going to try and see just what's up as well now, as you do have these Cyclones moving in towards the upper right hand side. 2 Medevacs loading up. They're going to be heading across towards the upper left side themselves, try and see what they can get up to. But they are going to run right through the pathway of this Observer. Observer could not be better timed to see this attack coming. However, as DNS gets distracted, the Cyclones are still off to the right. So they're still around. They're still looking for fights. They will take them if possible. They're about to get a lot less useful because ground armor is about to finish, and that affects every single one of their attacks, which means they're not going to have as great of a time. Medivac does snipe down in the main, but the Stalkers are in a little bit of trouble, taking some damage here. Cyclone's back away, but now the Cyclone number is good enough to still absolutely shred a Stalker. And that Zealot. Border gets taken down by the Immortal, good chunks on that. And again, it's just Clem setting up in two different positions to try and make something happen here, to try and make this a little bit more of an interesting scenario for the Protoss, where it's not just a simple sit here and defend. They want to try and come in from a couple of different angles perhaps. Cyclone's working their way through these rocks. Here comes Clem's reinforcements, up by 30 army supply by the way. 1-1 upgrades are about 10 seconds away from him, so by the time he's through these rocks and ready to fight, he will have even upgrades with the Protoss player. Scan sees no observer, so he'll head towards the main base. And I think he's convinced DnS that his entire army is here, which means that these medivacs are going to get in towards the main without being seen, without anything to stop them. And here we go, Clem straight in, starts to unload, and that cannon will go down pretty quickly. And now the rest of the army is going to try and fight as the rest of these units go in towards the main. Although there is actually a good enough amount of Zealots here for the moment, although they take a lot of hits. Those Zealots actually DnS may want to, but I kind of feel like maybe Clem can afford that a little bit more. Well, DnS will take quite a bit of damage as Clem continues to push forwards in the main base. The Stalker count is actually taking a heavy hit. Another Zealot coming through the tank for a little bit here. Probes are going to try and fight now as well, but that means the probe count is coming up. He kills the third base of the Medivacs that loaded up and came to the side, and DnS is being pulled apart at the moment as we see these battle units kiting backwards, continuing to push on through. Another Stalker, another Immortal going to drop right here. And this looks as though it's pretty much going to be DnS falling apart. I mean, now there's units in the back of the Natural. Gets one of the Forges, +2 attack, denied. +2 armor, potentially denied. And there it is, going down. 2-2 denied. Our Terran player will start to take an upgrade leave. Again, obviously, even for now, but, you know, give it a little while and it'll definitely change. Extra pylons too, and again, DnS just can't get himself gathered together here properly. And as the rest of the units reinforce here from Clem, he should just be able to push on forwards, and he should just be able to end this game. These two Medivacs are still just causing a massive issue here, as they are going to boost away to the right side. Medivacs setting up and going to be getting ready to unload in the center. Widow Mines will perhaps want to burrow here, as we are going to be seeing them a little bit late to the burrow party, but well, the reality is, I mean, even if the Widow Mines go down and do nothing, it's still plenty of Terran, and I think that's very visible as we see the Concave of Clem coming through to tie this series 1-1. And as the life of these players are on the line in this tournament versus DnS, the loser is essentially eliminated from the tournament. The winner will still fight on based on other results, and of course Clem still has to play a match after this versus Bly, which could also determine who ends up advancing. Right now we are on track for potentially all three Zergs to advance. If Bly beats Snoot, Snoot and True kind of trade out a little bit and so on. And that would be a little bit of a shame, I'm not going to lie. It's just typical Zerg though, isn't it? Always winning. You know, they just don't know how to do anything else. As we get this set up and ready to go, game 3. As we do have Clem, top right hand side, blue Terran player. Trying to play some mind games at the moment, as DnS is the red Protoss bottom left. Mind games in the form of the lack of a barracks here. DnS will still expand though. I don't think he's fallen for the mind game at all. It's expansion into the cyber core. And he was right not to do so. Marine on the way on the low ground. Clem. Found out, figured out, but again, DnS calling his bluff. Throwing that Nexus down, not just going straight into the cyber corner Zealot. What a way for things to go. Alright, well we do see this probe. Continue to just hide up towards the top. Concussive shells on the way, the Marauder on the way out. Command center is coming up to completion here in the next few moments. Marine starts to poke back that probe here. Another barracks is building up in the main. It's going to be a Marauder with concussive shells to start things off, so I kind of like it actually. It really allows you to get a little bit of a pain actually. Catch a forward unit or so, but I think as you know, DnS realizes that, okay, well there's a Marauder here. He'll play a little bit safer, get a shield battery at the front, and he should be kind of fine in that regard. As this game sets up, there's a bit of a fight going on in Bly versus Snoot. Bly is in the red, and he's just ran into Snoot's army. Snoot does have a missile attack upgrade lead. Both players are starting to switch into Mutalisks, and this game is a little bit of a quirky ZVZ that's ongoing in the background here, guys. And those roaches of Snoot continue to chase down Bly, and it still feels like Snoot maybe just holding a slight upper edge, but not by much in that ZVZ. Remember that Bly is 1-0 up in the series, so Snoot has to win 2 in a row to win that one, if possible. Stim back starting up here from Clem back at home, and obviously from the concussive shell straight into Stim, it makes sense. He's playing free racks, he's playing bio, so you want those upgrades as fast as you can get them, and that's what he's setting up for at the moment. Marines on the way out, as we will see Stim is about halfway done at the moment. How is this guy not banned? He's been talking for so long. He's just talking absolute shit. Aye, aye, aye. Oracle comes in, doesn't really find much just yet. Takes a shot or so off the missile turret that's up defensively so far. That's definitely working out in Clem's favour. Well prepared for the Stargate play so far here. Stim pack about to finish. Combat shield coming up. +1 attack about halfway done. These 2 oracles moving up. Obviously with 2 oracles you can get a bit more damage done, but I think the majority of the time here right now against a bio-heavy army, more than anything you might want to just try and drop a revelation. Or if the army's split up, I guess you can try and jump onto a few Marines. But this becomes dangerous now. I mean, this Oracle is taking a lot more hits, and, well, he's just going to get out of there, but there is still a lot of damage. You have to be very cautious with kind of moments like that, because everything can go so wrong so quickly in those fights. I mean, suddenly 3 more Marines show up from an odd angle. You lose 1 Oracle, and, you know, it's a little bit of your map control lost, and who knows what that map control will cost you as the game goes on from that point. Yeah, these oracles actually still finding some bio units just trailing around on their own. It's kind of amusing. Stim is done, combat shield's finishing shortly. So that sort of stage where Clem would probably like to be across the map, but he's just not going to find a way to be across the map. And especially after losing, what, like 7 years to the oracles? It's probably not worth it either. He has way less to fight with than you might usually expect to use. Those Marines, they do have stims, so they can jump on the oracles if they stop for even a moment. Just doesn't want to stim while they're already a few steps away, of course, because that would be a waste if that DnS does just bring them back. Just like that, I mean, you stim, DnS is controlling them, he pulls them away, and that stim is somewhat wasted, because, I mean, even, you know, DnS just throws the revelation down, so even if the oracles aren't there to see themselves, the revelation still lets you, you know, it shows you what you need to see, right? 2 oracles still just up in the center. And we are going to be having the blinking +1 as a follow-up here from DnS, so set himself up into his own gateway tech, and so far it just looks to be fairly gateway heavy. I mean, a robo just now coming up, so taking a little while to get that going. As those 2 oracles going to set back in towards the center here. We are going to be seeing this robo. First robo will be obviously an observer, maybe initially start getting some more map control outside of the oracles. Unless he really feels as though he's in some trouble from a potential bio push, in which case some immortal production could be pretty useful as well. Blink is about to finish up. The +1 attack is about to finish up as well. Not looking to really use those right away just here. It seems looking to just sort of sit back and just sort of wait for maybe the Terran to attack him. DnS maybe expecting Clem to get aggressive here soon, because again, he did open bio. He does have a good amount of bio-based units. It would make somewhat, you know, a little bit of sense here, I guess. All this bio gathering and gathering, we are going to be seeing this army will want to head down towards the bottom left-hand side. Marine or 2 pushing away, poking away at an oracle. That's picked off right here. So actually DnS losing the oracles suddenly loses his map control a little bit. Now it's a bit harder for him to keep track of the bio, and instantly Clem loads up Medivacs and he goes to drop. So suddenly Clem is like a different Terran player, and it's all just because he's able to pick off the Oracle there. No revelations available, no vision available. That actually makes quite a big difference, as we are going to be seeing the bio from Clem gathering up over here towards the left-hand side. Drop into the main base, and DnS not immediately ready for this. He is going to start pulling units into position now. Reaper Grenade, as he will try and lift up and get away, but that wasn't good for Clem. He just lost a full medevac. He's going to push at the front at the same time. Can he find enough damage with this? Well, probably not, because Zealots are going to charge him from the left. He gets 2 gateways. That doesn't really feel like it's going to get the job done. Widowmine's going off, getting some good splash damage, but again, Clem lost a lot in the main without really doing anything apart from pulling units out of location. He didn't even really kill much. I think it was like a single pylon or so. I mean, obviously, hindsight's everything, but it might have been better for him to just stim into those stalkers and just try and get a kill or two. But then again, if they just start blinking back, then you don't get anything done anyways, and so maybe you're better to try and get away. Sort of makes sense, I suppose. Alright, I'm pushing forward. See a couple of Widowmines not going to burrow just yet. Upgrades are even. 2-2 only just started from DnS, so it's not some sort of crazy upgrade lead like we can sometimes see for the Protoss player. It's not been that kind of build order from him. It's been very gateway heavy, of course, initially. Without the double forge, just playing single forge initially. A little bit less greedy, and we do see a big drop from Clem. Now, what he would hope to do right here is he actually unloads a couple medevacs back on this side. He probably wants to sell the idea that this attack is still happening over here, that there isn't a drop heading elsewhere. While that Widowmine just hits so many of these bio units. The more you can keep these Stalkers blinking around on the left side, blinking in towards the third base, and defending this position, the more chance he has to get something done with this drop on the right side. He will come in and deny the fourth, so that looks to be just what he's going to be content with for the moment. Fourth will go down, a couple of units sent over on their own isn't going to be able to deal with this. Clem loads up, and then he can jump into the main base where the threat really will be. Feedback on one of these medevacs, but the High Templar will go down, so already not a bad trade here. Clem will go for some workers. He just killed 12 workers with a couple of Widowmines behind the third base mineral line. Bit of an odd time for a Widowmine drop, but it works wonders. 12 workers killed. DnS really is suddenly bleeding here a little bit as Clem still pushing forwards. A storm will land. Marines and Marauders are in some trouble. Widowmine is going to be going off, clean up a couple of Zealots as they approach. This Bioforce might want to try and fight this here. He's going to target down the High Templar with a storm. DnS is looking elsewhere at the time, and that is a nice pick-off because it really slows down the amount of splash damage available in this army in the near future. Bio turns to fight. All of this is happening without the 2-2 upgrades of the Protoss. Still 1-1 for the Terran as well. Just wants to attack slowly on the way up. But of course, without 2-2 of the Protoss, these Bio units are trading pretty well, and so Clem, he's taking advantage of that at the moment, and now adding Ghosts into play. Well, let's see what the storms look like here. Absolutely disgusting as Clem is this time the player not quite paying attention, and he costs him heavily as that army was looking absolutely terrifying moments ago, but suddenly this army is not looking anywhere near as terrifying. Stalkers are going to try and bait out the Widowmines here with their blinks. You're going to see a couple of Zealots, unfortunately, are going to be going down to those Widowmines too, though, as they were just left alone. Still no fourth base. Clem does have a fourth of his own, so he has that economy if you can just hold on defensively and stay alive. We are going to be seeing actually a probe on the way over to make it, but Bio moving into position as well here for Clem, and he will stim forwards for just the third base perhaps. Oh my god, all those High Templars just morphed in. That's not good because he's going to lose at least one Archon here, if not two. Units are coming in from the south side, and he'll kill 2 Archons though. I mean, how can you be upset with 2 Archon kills for free? I mean, he isn't free, right? He loses the units, but Archons are so valuable, so expensive. Well, obviously, the EMP is in play with the Ghosts. That will go a long way. This army's splitting, though. Whether intentional or not is yet to be seen. A little bit of this Protoss army coming up. In fact, this is the whole Protoss army gathered together for the first time in a while. Hallucinated Phoenix will see some of the Bio. Will not see all of it, though. However, DnS is going to make the conscious decision to pull back down to the bottom left. Clem will scan. He will see the top left-hand base being taken too. So he recognizes this here, and he'll know that's something he's going to have to be cautious of. Just a couple of Widowmines are going to burrow, and they are going to go off all over this army. The Stalkers did not have a blink in them, and another Widowmine connects. EMPs have already gone down from the Ghost. They've done an okayish job, although they missed the Archons and Immortals, which arguably are some of the more important targets. Stimming and stepping away now, turns for an Archon, will turn for another. Some Zealots here going to go down as he runs. Clem being blinked after by these Stalkers, or blunk after by these Stalkers. He will continue to get towards the upper right-hand side where some more Bio reinforcements are ready to greet him. Somewhat excitedly, I'd imagine, because they need to stand together as one right now to hold against this Protoss force. Bio still coming back over to the left-hand side here. Stalkers, Zealots, and Warlords all gathering up, and well, it's going to be DnS pushing into this third base location. It's not going to be easy though, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's choked up, it's protected by this wall of barracks almost. These racks are now going to lift up and start moving away as the Stalkers will actually now going to be coming through. There's actually a little bit of difficulty for Clem to fight this as well. He also doesn't quite know how to push on into this position, I guess. He has lifted up his racks, but those storms are obviously so good at controlling the area. And it means that Clem has to be so cautious about pushes in. Already, so many of his units in red and orange health. Blinking forwards, trying to get the Liberator, which is now also being stopped from going down for a little while because of the force field position. Another storm drops, and Clem is still just about holding on here. The EMP is landing now and again. And you see another big EMP on the left side. That hits an Immortal too, as well as the High Templar. Archon will morph in from this. The Immortals are being targeted down as Clem stims forwards. 2-2 against 2-2 upgrades at the moment. More Widow Mines in the back here, so as the Zealots do come forwards, they get taken down. And in the end, DnS will have to pull away from this position. 14 minutes in game, but this has been an epic already. These guys are going at each other's throats. And in the end, Clem seems to be coming off better just a little bit, simply because he had the fourth base up so much longer. He's had a chance to set a fifth base up bottom right corner. He knows DnS has top left, but that's only just now really being taken. So that's only just now really becoming a feature in this. As we are going to be seeing those units coming in towards the top. Moving around at the moment here to see what might happen. DnS standing up. As we have a moment of calm, by the way. Bligh Snoot had the same mutalist count for the entire game until 2 seconds ago, where Bligh just massively won the Mutify, but Snoot has ultras on the ground, and so he's killing absolutely everything. That ZVZ between Bligh and Snoot is absolute chaos at the moment. Craziness happening in the other series currently ongoing, as we are going to be seeing DnS gathering up towards the frontier. Pulling back just a little bit. He's going to recall actually to the top left because he realizes that's probably where our Terran player is pushing. As the scan comes down, he sees the Protoss army is gone. Decides not to push top left any longer, perhaps expecting a recall here. Good, somewhat of a prediction here by Clem. A few High Templar top side looking to see what their next move is. Another assimilator or two dropping down here as well now. Maxed out Clem obviously wants to try and make something happen. He doesn't gain much by waiting around. +3 attack finish for him. He's missing +3 armor, but that's not the end of the world. The first EMPs do hit quite nicely. The first storm is just a little bit shy of the actual army, which is a little bit of a shame. So we are going to be seeing this Bioforce knocking down these rocks, opening up this pathway. Clem continuing down to the south, and I think right now DnS is struggling to actually keep track of where the Terran army is. Actually have some disruptors added in here. I like that introduction. The mine's already getting some kills, some goes to the back, getting feedback as well, which is painful. And this Bioforce from Clem going to continue up the right-hand side. Another couple of Widow Mines will burrow here. Sim comes in, another storm just misses at the front. He's still pushing forwards. Widow Mines will actually help out against this Archon. Disruptors are something which obviously Clem now has to consider in these fights, and even, just how he kind of takes these fights. That was nice actually. He targeted the Disruptor at the front, which he knew was on cooldown, pulled back away from the other one shot, minimizing the damage. This time the Disruptor shot will get dangerous and was very close to picking off a Ghost right here. EMP is still coming down whenever the Ghosts have the energy. Back and forth action as Clem is going to pull back towards his Widow Minefield, which is honestly actually going to be quite useful for him right now. Just lose 2 of them though to the Disruptor shot. I don't think DnS is paying attention here as he loses a couple of units in amongst that splash damage. Just going to be seeing the units here from Clem gathering up to the top now. A couple of Liberators in this as well, and I wonder if the Liberators can start to change the tide. He took a long time to introduce Liberators here. He could siege up from a distance. He could siege up from a distance, as we have got this army of DnS. Ooh, that's a nice disruptor shot. I mean, that's the power of DnS's army. He can sit at a distance, get a lot done. Clem, though, has such a large bank because his economy is on 83 SCVs. Honestly, if he sacked some SCVs and replaced it with army, life would become a lot more difficult here for the Protoss player, who blinks forwards onto Widow Mines, though. Don't think he saw that coming. Then his own disruptor shot hit his own Stalkers as well. Disastrous moment here from DnS. He sort of felt as though he had a moment to jump on top of the Liberators, but unfortunately is not quite able to make it happen. Oh my god, this Bly Snoot game is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Snoot has been fighting with like 1 Queen and 1 Spore Crawler against 6 Mutas for the last few minutes. It's really, really become a bit ridiculous. But this TVP is absolutely ridiculous as well. Widow Mines still all over the place. EMP is coating the Stalkers before they reach. A Disruptor goes down to the Liberator Fire. I think the Liberator Fire is really starting to be a bit of a game changer in amongst all of this right now. Storm's coming down, but the Liberation Zones are just crazy. It actually gives the Bio a chance to get across the map. Aporos player is still in the top left, and he knows it. He leaves the Liberators there to zone it out. As we are going to be seeing the Bio coming down towards the bottom left-hand side. Okay, so here we go. Comes in, will grab himself a couple of workers. Already now he does force the recall, and the recall has come down. The Liberators will have to unsiege and move elsewhere. Clem is expanding all over the place at the moment as well, by the way, because he just has the minerals too. And that's the difference in this game. He completely controls this army. He is looking pretty great right here. Medivac's actually find a few of the Medivacs, so nice moment though from DnS, even blinking down, although that might cost him a few Stalkers. They're a little bit stuck down there. Liberator siege again. The issue is DnS obviously doesn't want to take a fight, whereas Clem kind of does. But then, you know, DnS will just keep on running around Clem and never really try and take a straight up engagement, if at all possible, to avoid. Disruptors all over the place at the moment, as we are going to see Stalkers have gotten themselves behind the Liberator line. Obviously causes some complications right here. Disruptor will continue to push the Bio away. Liberator is actually getting a lot of shots off as this army moves back through the sides. It is a little bit kind of quartered in by the Liberators at this stage, actually. And these Liberators picking off High Templar as well. That's painful to see from DNS's perspective. Finally, Clem finds himself on the top left-hand side of this map, and he is going to deny this space. He's been pushing to get into a position like this for a very long time. The Liberator is left alone over here, though. But man, he's going to get so much value out of them anyways. I mean, he's picked off multiple High Templar, a couple of Disruptors. I don't think that Clem can be too upset, considering he does have the money to rebuild now. We have got ourselves a Stalkers blinking forwards once again. Disruptors will stop these units from taking advantage of the blinking Stalkers. Was that all the Disruptor shots? No, there's one left. It hits 2 Ghosts and a little bit of Bio on the side. Clem's still trying to reinforce this. It's an intense game. Widowmine goes off again. Disruptor will find a couple of units. Clem tries to split as he pushes in towards this position. Will find the Archon. DnS is barely any man, and this base has just come back online. He's still at 45 workers. Look at this income lead that Clem has just dominated over time here. They're still struggling to clean up the army, just because that's how Disruptors kind of work with these Blinker Stalkers. It makes it difficult to really end the game from the Terran's position, honestly. As we are going to be seeing these units still gathering together up the left side. As, just as a quick update, Bly 2-0 Snoot does mean that Bly will move on through and take another series win here. So he took down True and Snoot. Bly is now 2-1 in this group with Clem left to play. This is getting a little bit crazy, actually. More Liberators sieging up here from a distance. Seeing what else is going on. So many bases, though, from Clem, right? And I mean, that's the crazy thing. That is the crazy thing. Coming down towards the south, we are going to be seeing this probe nibbling away at the orbital. Coming up to the top, we are going to see Widowmines again trying to be useful, and they will with the Disruptor be taken down. Here goes the economy of DnS once more, though. This Nexus will drop here. So Nexus falls. A couple of probes off to the side being chased down as well. Still pushing forwards. We are going to be seeing another couple of Widowmines being taken down. Orbital going to drop here as well. The far south coming here is taken down. I mean, I think the thing is from DnS. I was about to say, not from DnS, but from Clem. He has the Liberators maybe to defend, but the Liberators have to be very cautious. I mean, I think just the fact that Clem has bases all around the map is enough for him. And I think he knows that he wins a base right here, because even a recall doesn't actually save DnS. It hurts DnS, because then DnS doesn't continue to do damage across the map, and he has so much damage to be done. I think Clem just knows it's not really possible. And I mean, there's the recall, sure, but now what? Well, I guess you kill all 4 Widowmines. All 3 of the 4 isn't bad with the Disruptor shot. Just going to see the Bio continue to gather up in the center. This Orbital taking some more hits right here. Stalkers will blink in, gets himself an orbital kill. Probes on the top side of the map have been found. They are in trouble. In fact, there's only 24 probes on the map, and that right there is 19 of them. DnS has 0 income right now, and again, as Clem did lose a lot, he's just rebuilt so quickly. Liberators will siege on up, and we are going to see the Disruptor just being dodged again, but the Liberators grabbing another Archon, and these units of DnS are just being shaved away. This used to look a little bit scary, but now the number of just tech-based units here are just so fewer. Now recall is on cooldown, and we just see Clem is going to continue to trade out in bases once more. DnS types out the GG. Clem takes the series 2-1. DnS will be eliminated on a 1-3 scoreline.